Well, my name is Akoss Ofori Mensah. I'm from Ghana and I'm a book publisher. A Ghanaian scholar once said that if you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a girl, you educate a nation. And I think this is the crux of what we are trying to do. In Africa, on the whole, women are disadvantaged. Girls don't go to school in many countries. They are married off when they are little children. They don't even know anything about marriage. And, their life is kind of humdrum. It's not exciting. And what APIF is doing right now is to help a lot of girls who are caught up in this kind of syndrome, to help them get out, get education, and find a better life for themselves. Well, it's really huge, and in my own country, Ghana, especially in the northern part of Ghana, girls don't go to school. They are just sent off when they are little girls to marry, and as a result, a lot of them these days try to run down south to find work in the marketplace because they are not interested in early marriages. And I would say that off the top of my head, I would say that about 50% of the young girls in northern Ghana really do not get any education at all. From the age of 10 onwards. Because some of them are just given to old men who can be their grandfathers as their husbands. The publishing industry in Africa is fairly young compared to Europe and other places. And until I would say about the 1980s or so, most books in Africa or in Ghana were imported they were textbooks, everything was imported. It was just a few years after independence that indigenous people started publishing books and later on got into the textbook program. But the industry is kind of a difficult industry in the sense that it needs finance, and most people who go into publishing, do not have the capital to start, and they need some support to do it. And personally, when I went, into publishing, I started with children's books, readers. And what I was doing was that I was just promoting these readers to schools and children, to make some money. And I found out that, it worked. And in fact, I have done quite a number of children's books, and some of them have traveled beyond the borders of Ghana. For many people, many publishers, it is difficult because they depend on government orders, like the Ministry of Education asking for readers or textbooks. And if the ministry doesn't buy the books, then it means the books are sitting in the warehouse, or, and the publishers are in a crisis, financial crisis. And so it's, in Africa, I would say, especially in Black Africa, publishing is an industry we have learned from Europe and America. And I don't think we are doing as well as they do, other publishers do in their countries. But still, it is our responsibility to develop books that are relevant to our children and to our people and to the country. And those things, even though they were being done by foreigners years gone by, I think Africa has been independent for long enough to be able to decide what books or what kind of stuff the children should read and they should learn. The most pressing challenge to most publishers in Africa is the finance, how to finance their business. That is the problem. Because they can't rely on government orders all the time. Sometimes it's delayed, and sometimes the government orders the books, they are supplied, but payment takes forever to come. And all these things don't, augur well for a flourishing publishing business. Yeah. I think ABIP came in at a crucial time in the life of publishers in Africa. Before then, there has been support for publishing in Africa from other donors like Danida, USAID, the Commonwealth Fund, all kinds of support. But these supports come for a period. And the unfortunate thing about my people is that when we get support from a donor, instead of making use of that support to build the company and so that it can live on its own when the support is ended, my people, we just tend to think that it will continue coming all the time, so that we don't, I would say we don't plan for the future, or my colleagues, we don't plan for the future. If a donor is supporting a project for, say, 2 years, and a certain amount of money is coming to the publisher, the publisher should be able to work with that money in such a way that when the project is ended, there would be something for him to be able to continue the project. But many of us, my people, once we get a support from somewhere, we use it, and the thinking is that it's going to be on forever. But nothing lasts forever in this world. And that is, I think, the biggest problem African publishers have. You see, the APIF support, for instance, is wonderful. Years before APIF came onto the scene, there were other supporters for African publishing. But they ran for a period and they fizzle out. And the beneficiaries, that is the individual African publishers, from my point of view, I think that they don't make use or good use of what they get from the donors. See, so they are always, looking for that kind of support. But I don't think anything in this world lasts forever like that. So we have to do something about it. And I hope with APIF, we are going to stand firm and use the facility in a sensible way, so that when APIF is no longer there, the business can go on. And that will be a credit to APIF. We can't just take the money, do whatever we want to do, and then when APIF says we are closing, then it's like we are going to start from the beginning all over again. It doesn't work like that in the real world. So Africans have to learn that and put their act together. I once published a book, and it's a story about a crippled boy who manages to save his village from floods. And that book became a hit. It was published, I think it was in 1993 or 1992. And that book has traveled all over the world. It's been published in so many countries, in America, UK, Germany, Denmark, and other parts of Africa. And that particular book gives me joy because I think at least I've made an effort to share something with other people. And I think in this business, the role is to share the positive things we have in life with other people. And for me, the role that Susu's Call has carved out, for sub-Saharan publishers is very positive, and I feel very proud about it. I think for me, again, the most important or the most rewarding time has been when decisions have been made to help or to assist certain companies or certain organizations to come back to life or to restart something new. And with APIF, what is even more fascinating is that it came up at a time when the world was in a turmoil with this corona virus. So people have, publishers had to think out of the box. They had to do something new, to be able to face the challenge that the epidemic, posed. So APIF was asking publishers, to produce things like, say, audiobooks or e-books, so that if a child is not going to school and they've got their laptop or even their phone, they can sit in their house and read, so that the pandemic does not stop children from reading. So for me, I think APIF did a wonderful thing for making African publishers think out of the box and do something new, to face the challenges of the day. The pandemic has caused a lot of trouble, but it's also making people think their way through the problems and finding solutions to immediate issues that are coming up. Oh, I believe that, with the younger generation and with the new challenges we've had, recently, that is from last year, to date, I guess people are going to come up with new things, new ways of doing things. Like in my country, for instance, the Ministry of Education is thinking of giving laptops to teachers, and these laptops will be loaded with material that they themselves have approved, that is, the ministry has approved for use by the children, so that the teacher has access to a computer and can deliver the material that should go to the children.